It's time now for This Week in Rock and Roll History, brought to you by Tom Tayback. Take a moment to stroll with us down memory lane to the good old days, those rock and roll gold days.
Hi everybody, Tom Tayback here. Happy to be your tour guide going back to the good old days of soda shops and sock hops in the gym. Let's begin this trip back in 1957. 16-year-old Ricky Nelson releases his first record. One side was his cover of Fats Domino's I'm Walkin', but can you guess what was on the flip side? 3 days later, in a rare appearance outside of the U.S., Elvis Presley performs at the Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. This is the only time that he wore the entire famous gold lame tuxedo for anything other than an album cover. And 3 days after that, Elvis goes into the recording studio and lays down tracks for Jailhouse Rock. The tune was written by the team of Lieber and Stoller specifically for the movie. Once released, it would top the Billboard charts, the R&B charts, the country chart. But hold on, Jailhouse Rock was also the first single to ever debut at number one in the UK. 1960. Back to Elvis. He releases his first song since leaving the Army. Stuck on You hits number one effortlessly and might have been the most highly anticipated release in music history. It sold over 1 million copies prior to being recorded. 1 day later, production begins for Elvis's first post-Army movie, GI Blues. And with the payola scandal still in the news, Dick Clark agreed to relinquish his publishing rights to numerous songs he was promoting. The cost of giving up those rights would be estimated years later at about $80 million. Let's go to 1961. Del Shannon's Runaway hits number one, enabling him to finally quit his carpet salesman job. 1962, just 4 days after his 3-year-old son drowns in the family swimming pool, Jerry Lee Lewis arrives in London to begin a UK tour. 1963, Frankie Avalon signs on to appear in the upcoming Hollywood movie Beach Party. He's co-starring with Annette Funicello. More from This Week in 1963. At 15 years, 1 month, and 13 days old, little Peggy March becomes the youngest female singer to have a number one record in the U.S. with I Will Follow Him. And one more item from 1963, Andrew Lube Oldham became the manager of the Rolling Stones at 19 years old. He bowed out in 1967 as the lads began to direct their own way. And finally, this week in 1965, Jimmy Nicol made the news again. Remember him? Well, he sat in for the ailing Ringo during the Beatles' Australian tour. This time, he's in bankruptcy court saying that the brief stint with fame was the worst thing that ever happened to him. Seems he was content earning just 30 pounds a week, and playing with the Beatles, well, it spoiled him. Whatever.
If this is your kind of music, you'll love my Rock and Roll Showcase, featuring trivia and stories about the rock and roll stars along with their charted hit singles at Podomatic.com or on YouTube. Podomatic.com or YouTube. Just search Tom Tayback. That's Tayback. Rock and roll is here to stay, baby.